Everybody having a good time? I'm not sure if I can top Jeff's presentation. That was pretty awesome. Maybe if you look under your seats, there'll be a phone. No, sorry. I'm Abraham Williams. It's Abraham on Twitter. I'm a developer. I consider myself a hacker advocate. I love working on things, trying out new tools, new software, a little bit of everything. I guess I got to worry about my cat now. So this is a talk about minimalism and feature implementation. It's very easy to, just be like one more feature. So, I'm going to talk about how to, some good examples of minimalist features, but are still very engaging and bring a lot of value. And with this presentation, I'm actually trying something a little different. Use this hashtag, and actually, if you go to this, especially for those in the back, if you can't see the slides on that URL, there's the slides so you can view yourself as we're going. And I'm using the Add Anywhere chat tweet box. So like right from that page, you can replies and you can see all the feed being pulled in live. So what do I mean by minimalism? Well, there's basically two big parts. The first one is the impact, and it's really like the impact on how cluttered and complex your UI is, and the impact on how much work you're making users do in order to use your service. And the other big part is value, and it's how much value you're bringing to the users. And, value is important. If there's no value, they're not going to use your product, your site, whatever. Why is this important? Well, there's a number of reasons. Users are lazy. I know I'm lazy, and I'm sure all of you are too, but we won't tell. It's cool. So if you make them jump through a bunch of hoops, if you have 30 text boxes to fill out before they can use your site, they're just as likely to go to the site next door that's got 2 text boxes. It's very easy to confuse users. We're all very technical oriented, and so we see a complex interface. It doesn't faze us. We're a lot more likely to figure out how to use it and how to go with it. But somebody, like Gmail's recent video chat with your grandma campaign, unless your grandma can use it, it's too complex. I don't really need to explain this. Another good thing is kind of selfish for your own thing is that simple code is a lot easier to maintain. If you have a billion features, every time you change something, you're going to be afraid that you're going to break something. You're going to be spending money you don't need to spend maintaining those features. So now it's the fun part. We got some examples. Facebook has a really slick little at reply or at mention interface. You don't even know it's there until you put an at symbol and start typing somebody's name. And it automatically picks from your friends based on what you're typing, and when you hit enter, it just inserts it, and that's it. You don't have to deal with it anymore. And so this is an example of it's not there unless you need it there, and there's no wasted UI. It works when you need it to. Degree was a little project I worked on at a Seattle startup weekend. The basic idea was you check in somewhere on Foursquare. We check for people at the venue that are a friend of a friend, and then we try to match you up and say, here are some topics you might be interested in talking about. Well, the problem we were talking about during the initial design phase was, are we going to build another application so a user gets to a venue they're distracted by all these people that are saying hi or registering or whatever. They check in on Foursquare, they're not going to remember, or they're going to be too lazy or too busy to go to a completely different application just to see if somebody might be there that they might know. So what we did is we actually used Twilio. When somebody checks in on Foursquare, if there's a friend of a friend there, we send them a text message saying, hey, here's somebody here that you might know. Follow this link and find more information. If there's no friend there, they never get notified. There's no wasted time on their part. So a lot of value with only an initial setup time for them. I built this simple little Chrome extension called Intersect, and it leverages your social graph on Twitter to show mutual friends, mutual followers, and my friends that are following the profile I'm viewing. So it's kind of like, if I trust this person enough to follow them, and they're following the profile I'm viewing, then it's entirely possible that I want to follow that profile as well. And you install the Chrome extension, and it's just there on profiles when you need it. You don't have to, say, oh, I want to, go to some other site to see if how their social graph intersects my social graph. Gmail has a couple of great examples. The labs section, everything in there, if you don't want it, it never shows up. It never impacts your Gmail experience. If you decide that you want some of these features, you turn them on, and then you've got them. A good example is the translation feature. I'm primarily an English speaker, but I'm always getting these fun emails that are in Russian trying to sell me something that I don't want. But Gmail offers to translate it for me. There's no UI for it saying, if it's an English message, it doesn't ask, hey, do you want this to be translated to English, because there's no reason to. So if it's in a different language, it offers for me. But other than that, it's never in my way. I never see it. It's awesome. This is another Chrome extension by Google. All you do is you double click on a word and it shows you the definition. There's no UI in there until you double click and you want that definition. Aardvark. Another good part about trying to be minimal is that you can leverage other infrastructure. The degree leveraged Twilio. Well, Aardvark started off using Google Chat. If you have a Gmail account, if you're chatting with people, you automatically have that interface into the application. You don't have to go anywhere else. Anytime you're logged in, you can interact with it. Very simple with tools you already know. I even have an away from keyboard example. AAA. If you don't need them, they're not there. But once you're on the side of the road, that subscription service sure comes in handy. So some of the key examples to remember is be nice and simple. Don't confuse the user. Don't make it too complex. But make sure you bring as much value as you can for what you're distracting the user with. And so the slides are there. There's an archive of any replies to the tweet is there. And there'll be, So if you have any questions, I'll be around the rest of the day.